This lesson is going to deal with, you guessed it, nouns and all of the different varieties that we have in our constructive writing notebooks. First, again, before you start taking notes, remember to date it for your own organizational purposes. The first noun we're going to talk about is a concrete noun. And, like every single noun we're going to talk about, concrete nouns name something you may touch. It has, this one in blue for fun, mass. A couple of examples would be your computer, you, and your pen. The next noun that we're going to talk about is called abstract. Again, abstract nouns name something and let's go green just for some flair. These things name something without mass. The red star of truth comes in to tell us you may feel these, but not touch them. And I'm going to blank out the page here to give you some more examples. And while I do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about abstract nouns and why they're so difficult. So abstract nouns, they name the idea, feeling, or emotion. We can't lay a hand on any of these three things and actually touch them. The feeling is more internal, okay? So if a student walks in and he looks angry or she looks angry, I can't put a hand on a bubble above their head and feel their anger or their sadness or their anxiety. I can see it on their face and deduce the feelings. The blue star, the poorly drawn blue star of justice, says that there are 5 endings to abstract nouns. We have ness, meant, ship, S-I-O-N, and T-I-O-N. Now, pardon me, as we talk in RL, or as you may have spoken about in RL, English is an amalgamation of a bunch of different languages. So, being with that idea, these are not the only 5 endings. There are rule breakers, just to keep things interesting for us. So, for example, we have happiness, enjoyment, friendship, passion, and emotion. Now we also have a word like angry. You can't give it one of these endings. That doesn't work. There's no such word as angriness or angryment or angry shun. To name the feeling, say anger. And a good test is to put it in a quick little sentence, like Bob is angry. And then think to yourself, am I describing Bob or am I naming that feeling? If I say Bob is angry, I'm describing him. I'm not naming that feeling. To name it, I would say Bob's anger was apparent by the look on his face. So now what I'm doing to my reader is I'm calling on one of their prior times when they were angry. They felt that anger and they can identify with Bob. Why do we use abstract nouns? Again, like all the sentence patterns and all of this writing that we're working on, the idea is to give you an arsenal of writing techniques so you can break up your writing, so you don't keep writing the same style over and over and over again. Remember, the one thing we don't want to do, there's several things we don't want to do. One of them is we don't want to bore our reader. That means they're going to stop reading, and if it's an English class, that's a grade. If it's a college's entrance letter, they're not going to read your letter. If it's a boss, then you're not going to get that raise that you were trying to get. So again, we want to mix things up to keep things interesting so that our reader stays engaged. Okay, so now after abstract nouns, we have common. And again, these things name something in general, like a pen or a car or a person. Proper nouns name sorry about that, name something specific. So a Bic pen, a Jeep, and good old Bob. Now the red star of truth comes back out, a little bit better drawn this time. Proper nouns are always capitalized. So even if you're not sure what the noun is, if you see that it's capitalized in the sentence, it's a very safe bet that it's a proper noun, and you might want to figure out what that noun means. And then finally, the last one that we're going to talk about today is a collective noun. These things name a group, not the individual members, if you will. So the fish is a school of fish. Students can be a class or the student body. Boats fleet, and we'll do one more, why not? Goose is a gaggle. It's just a fun word to add into any sentence. If you can add that in, you know you have a good conversation. Now there is one red star of truth for this collective noun. Just write it right underneath. If the word ends in an S, you have a plural noun, not a collective. So collective nouns do not end in S's. They end, so the students to school body or students to class. Okay, it's not a plural noun. And that takes us up to the end of nouns.